Fiddlesticks is a really strong clear. So long that you're doing 2 camps at once, which I'll show you how to do in this video, and do it consistently, because if you mess it up, you really put yourself behind in the game. But if you do it right, you can be about on pace with a heavy farming jungler like Karthus. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that, while also showing you the fundamental Fiddlesticks clear. So I hope it helps, man. These are the runes that I run for the clear. If you're interested in more in depth about the runes, you can check out that video in the description. And the only thing that really impacts the clear with the runes is the Adaptive Force and the Nimbus Cloak. There are timestamps below if you're looking to skip through the video for specific things, which I'm guessing you are, so check those out. And for this video, I'm going to be opening up with Blue and Wolves. When starting blue buff, you do have the option just to do wolves. It's easier, but you are going to have a faster clear if you can do blue and the wolves at the same time. So the way you do that is by auto-attacking the blue buff, moving into the wolves, auto-attacking them so you have aggro on both, and then positioning right in this spot so that you remain aggroed by both of them so that you can drain both of them. And this spot is pretty easy on blue side. It's really about being on the same line as that pebble. So long that you're not past it or behind it, then you're going to be in the right spot. So when you're draining blue and wolves, you want to be auto-attacking the wolves until around 430 HP on the wolves. Then you can really maximize it by kiting the wolves on your last drain, using the last bit of its patience so that you can get more distance to the Gromp. You don't have to do it like that, but it does save you time, and it is just better. As you finish wolves, move into the Gromp, E it so that it aggroes towards you, so that you again save some time moving Gromp into you. Kite the blue buff's auto attacks, spin the E into auto attack on the Gromp. As you're finishing this drain, you can smite Gromp to maximize the time, get Nimbus Cloak, and then move into the red side. You don't have to use a refillable whenever you're doing Gromp, unless you think you're going to get invaded, because you're going to heal off Raptors in red. So you finish blue side before 220. What other champion can do this? As you enter the red side, auto attack the small Raptor, E the red, and then you want to position on this line so that you have the aggro from both of them. Just like blue and wolves, it's about keeping aggro from both camps. In this case, the easiest spot to do that is next to this tree on the red buff. And if, you look at the screen, it's just about staying on this line so that you're both aggroing the Raptors and the red without being too far forward or backwards. As you're draining both camps, only auto attack the red buff. The red buff has magic resist, so it takes you the longest to do. Even if the small Raptors de-aggro, that's okay. You're going to clear them about the same time that you would. And then as you finish the Raptor, just move past the red buff like this. You don't have to continue to auto attack it. Just wait for the drain and then drain it. Continue to move into the golems, E the golems. And then you can drain the small golem while also finishing red buff. That's a complete maximization. You really have to practice to do that. Whenever you get to golems, auto, smite, and then save the E for whenever the smaller golems spawn from the big one. Drain those, and you want to auto attack each one along with the E, and then save the drain for whenever the smaller golems spawn the even smaller golems. And now the clear is done. The clear is done at 320 with no leash preferably, and really you're like 5 to 10 seconds behind a Karthus, which is one of the fastest clearing junglers in the game. It's so crazy. Whenever you're doing scuttle, Q it, W, and then after that auto attack E and then W again. So once you clear the scuttle crab, it's best if you can get both, in which case you would do the other scuttle crab and then go into Gromp. But if not, you have a consistent path of doing scuttle crab into wolves, and then wolves into Gromp, Gromp into Raptors, and then Raptors into golems. And with this, you're going to make it so that your camps respawn in a natural line to your clear once you would reset, as you'd be resetting back to your blue side, and then the camps would be up by the time you'd be there again. You also have the option after golems to do dragon. You can do all of this without a leash, and so long that the game state allows for it, obviously. And on the completion of dragon, you're going to be level 6 and then be set up just to go back into another full clear or a gank. So it's a very solid fundamental clear in which you don't have to rely on ganks to get ahead, and the pace at which it happens makes it all very consistent, as the enemy has to go out of their way to interrupt it. Now I'm going to show how to mechanically clear the camps from the red side. It's a bit different, and it's a bit harder to do the blue and wolves. You really have to have it down, and I'd really recommend that you practice it in practice tool before you go into a game, as it's a lot different than doing it on blue side. So on red side, it's the same deal. You want to auto attack the blue buff, move it into wolves, move upwards to get vision of the wolves faster, auto attack the big wolf, move back into blue buff, take an auto attack from it, and then scoot towards the wolves. The important part to notice here is the wolf's patience meter. If you left click the wolf whenever it's coming to you, then you can see the patience bar better and know if you need to scoot further forward or not. But if you scoot too far forward, then you're going to lose the aggro of the blue buff. This position is a lot harder to see, but I'll try to give better examples. The most important part is just being about on the same line as this rock next to the tree. Looks great, man. Looks great. So being right next to this rock is going to be your best indicator. The most important part is scooting back into the wolves at the right distance and not de-aggroing the blue. And once you complete the wolves, it's the exact same clear on blue side where you would move into Gromp and then start that clear accordingly. When I say scooting towards the wolves, it's about issuing these movement commands forward and then the stop command so that you are scooting closer and closer towards the rock below the tree, but not too far past it to de-aggro, so that you're on this line and everything's solid. So that's doing blue buff from red side. It is harder. Please, for the love of God, go into a practice tool and practice it, at least doing it 10 times consistently before you go into an actual game, as the clear is so important, but if you mess it up, it feels so bad and it does just put you further behind. This is doing red buff from red side if you were starting on red. It's about the same. The line is a bit different. You need to be a little bit closer to the raptors on red side, and then it's the same deal, auto-attacking the red buff and draining the raptors. You do have some leniency whenever you are completing the camp, as you can kite the red buff a bit if you're starting the camp on the last drain, as you could be kiting it into your blue side. So on this last drain, you can auto-attack it, move away, and then auto-attack before that last bit of patience would run out as you're finishing it off. So now that you have a better understanding of how Fiddlesticks can clear, let's do a brief recap in which, so to start off on blue side or red side, you would do blue, move it into wolves, do both at the same time, do blue and Gromp, move into raptors, do red and raptors at the same time, move into golems. You also have the option to just skip golems and then go into scuttlecrab, but most likely just going to do golems into scuttlecrab, and then if you have the option to do the other scuttlecrab, that's best case scenario, because you can move back into the golems and then you have a really natural path into another full clear. But if you don't have the option to do the second scuttle after the one that you get for free, then you should move back to your wolves, do Gromp, and then move into the red side, raptors, golems, and then you also have the option to do dragon after that. Any ganks and invades or counter ganks that you could have would present themselves in the game, and you can adjust your path accordingly. But having the base understanding of like the fundamental clear for Fiddlesticks is going to help you make those decisions, especially once you have it practiced and it basically just becomes second nature to do it. That's when you really start playing League. Some interesting options you also have. Let's say if I was on red side as Fiddlesticks and I was against a jungler that wanted to do their whole red side early, their whole red side jungle, I could try to get into their blue side early and then just clear their blue side camps and then move into clearing my red side camps, into my blue side, into scuttle, into recalling, into doing my red side camps, into my blue side camps again, into dragon. That would be a very solid path. If you can get the enemy jungler's camps, even if it's just 2 off the start, it's very strong. So whenever you're on red side and you can invade the enemy's blue side, that's your best bet, because clearing these blue side camps is a lot easier than clearing the red side camps. If let's say you're on blue side and you wanted to invade the enemy's red side, that's also not so bad because it's a lot quicker. Let's say if I was against a champion like Elise, who obviously just wants to do blue Gromp into top lane. If I start in her red side and I'm not spotted, then it's just the freest thing, and you really do put her behind. Do red raptors at the same time and then move into your blue side, do blue Gromp into wolves. By the time that Elise would be coming into her red side and realize that all of this is gone, she would have to make the decision to go into your blue side and then attack you at wolves. But she would probably be looking for your blue or Gromp. So by the time that would happen, you'd be finishing wolves and then could be moving into your red side, in which case you have free reigns on your raptors, your red, golems, bot lane, scuttle, and her wolves. Really strong path, and things you should be looking to do on Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is Rift Herald is okay, It's not the strongest, it's not the fastest, but when you've full cleared everything and you already won the first dragon, you can look to do that if lanes are ungankable, and especially if the enemy just shows on the opposite side of the map. That's something you can look to do. That's way later in the game. And as far as openers, that's really the most common things you should look to do. Some niche things that you could have would be stealing side camps. So let's say you did the double full clear in which you start blue wolves, you do Gromp, Raptors, red, golems, scuttle, back to wolves, Gromp, Raptors, golems, and then you could move into the enemy's blue side and then try to take their Gromp and then wolves. That would be an interesting option in which you would hit level 6 in their jungle, and then you could look to ult over the wall there, for example. So opportunities like that, and really just small changes to the path once they present themselves, is where you're going to gain really, really big advantages and, you know, just get more for what you're already doing on Fiddlesticks. Really, really unique champion, and yeah. If this video helped you, you are legally obligated to leave a like. Twitch.tv/Sawyer Nelson, links in the description. You can also purchase coaching from me. It's $20 an hour. That description, shit. That information in the description, awesome. Love talking, love gaming. If you love gaming, yo, subscribe to my channel because I post gaming videos like almost every day. Like, I just can't stop gaming, and it's kind of becoming a problem. I'm going to see a therapist.